Imagine a great big map of the EU right here. We have the UK over here, France, Germany, Poland, also known as cheap labor, and then we have Northern Europe way over here with Finland, which is where I'm from. So let me introduce to you Finland and myself. Hi, welcome to Finland. Finland is a 102-year-old nation of 6 million people. We top the charts in education and many other things. We might not be number one in almost anything, but we are consistently in the top 5. So, are we number one in something? Yes, we are number one in happiness, making us the happiest and the most educated nation in the world. And we have a high suicide rate to thank for that. Can't be a sad nation if there are no sad people. Now let's talk about stereotypes. A lot of people think sometimes that the Finnish people were Vikings and we raided all kinds of places. Now that's not true, partly. We were not Vikings, we were just regular land barbarians. But we didn't share any of our beliefs with our neighboring barbarians, the Vikings. We had our own beliefs and folk tales and mythos. We call it Kalevala. Now, in Kalevala, we have this great folk hero, Väinämöinen. He was born to the creator goddess herself, Ilmatar, and he was cast adrift into the ocean straight from the womb. And he would drift for a long time, for decades, until he came ashore and found himself to be a fully grown man, and the land barren and empty, just dirt and rock. He wandered for a while until he saw Sam Palo, who seeded the hills, the valleys, and the plains, and trees and grass grew. And that's how Finland has been ever since. Now, I usually in Finland to gather my thoughts have had peaceful walks in the forest. I would pack my lunch and I would just walk until I would see another house or a person or a road, and oftentimes I would get hungry enough that I would eat my lunch and then head back. There is a lot of forest in Finland. Most of it is forest covered. Finland is the most forest covered nation in Europe, and it is the 10th most forest covered nation in the world for now. And when I used to live in Helsinki, which is the largest city in Finland, I'd go on walks in the forest without leaving the city, because the forest is everywhere. It gets into the city. Not the centermost part of the city, but nonetheless. Helsinki was full of multiple areas of thick forest, but I couldn't walk through a forest here in the UK. You don't really have any. You have the Sherwood Forest and a couple of others, but you don't really have big ones. And talking about big forests, the forests in Finland, we don't name it. You see, the forest just covers the whole nation, and we just call it Finland. You see? But where have your forests gone? What did you do? Oh, sorry. Let's go back to Väinämöinen. So, he was a great sage who knew many things. After all, he was born when the world was being created. So, it was no surprise when the young and arrogant Finnish man Joukahainen challenged him to a duel of knowledge. He easily won and sung him into a swamp. The young man pleaded for his life as he sank into the swamp, saying, "Can I offer you a magic bow?" 2? No? Okay. "I have a magic horse. I can offer it to you." "No. How about a magic boat? I've got a magic boat. You seem to have all the magic loot anyway, so how about a carrot? No, okay. Wait! I have a hot sister! The immortal wizard was delighted. I was indeed delighted to hear that he could have a young fair maiden as his wife, and immediately released Youkahainen from the swamp. When he went to the sister to announce that she would be his wife, her response to Väinämöinen was, "I'd rather die." And she did! She killed herself by drowning herself into a lake. And upon her death, the water spirits took pity on her and transformed her spirit into a fish. At least she got to keep her smell, I guess. Suicide. It's quite the killer in Finland, despite our status as the happiest place on earth. Lots of people hang themselves or cut their wrists or shoot themselves or take poison or whatever is their poison, I guess. And I struggled with depression once too. I was young. Everything was fine. I had good grades in school. I had friends, believe it or not. I was one of the best fencers in my fencing club. The only struggle I had in life was, when was I going to get laid next? Booyah. And then I got depressed and my dick couldn't get hard anymore. So I stopped enjoying everything in my life and just wanted to sleep, because being awake was not hard, but it was horrible. I got locked in a padded room, just like Jeffrey Epstein. But my suicide watch was actually quite competent, so I lived. Thanks, Finnish healthcare. Oh, talking about happiness, let's get back to the story. So, in Kalevala, Väinämöinen finds out that a neighboring nation has a machine that brings them endless wealth and food. Of course, he did not like that. No, I did not like that. So, he crafts a genius plan after coming to the logical conclusion that he should steal it. He forms a band of strong men to sail with him to where the machine is and steals it by singing everyone to sleep. But when they leave, one of the men accidentally wakes up a sleeping person. That was his fuck. By alerting them to the theft. A battle ensues, and the result is that the machine that could have brought wealth and food for the people is broken, and its pieces sink into the sea. And then at the end of Kalevala, after all of this is done, Väinämöinen realizes that perhaps he has not been the best leader, nor the best sage. Perhaps he was not the wisest. So he decides to leave his homeland, leaving the people to find their own answers and to search for meaning by themselves. I left Finland too, as you can see. Or maybe I'm filming this in Finland, who knows? I had 2 suitcases and a backpack when I left. It wasn't nearly enough to carry everything I had. And after packing my clothes, my shoes and a winter coat I have never needed in the UK, I had very little space left. So I packed a book and my bedding. And I think the bedding was more important than the book. I'd slept in that bedding for 8 years at that point, and no amount of washing could wash away the smell of home. And then I got to the airport and had to pay over £100 in fees because my luggage was over the weight limit. But it was weird to leave Finland for Britain. After all, it was the summer of 2016, just 2 months after Britain had decided to leave the EU. So I was worried if I could stay at first, but then I realized that I was a white male with a pretty good grasp on the English language, and I was worried no more. And then the Wuhan virus struck, and now I'm worried again, since it's happening at the same time with Brexit. Ooh. So now I need to apply for an indefinite leave to stay, but I might not be able to leave anyway, since the virus and all of the airlines are going bankrupt. There are no flights going to Finland on the airline that I used to use, and I have to probably use another one, unless that goes bankrupt too. I can't take a boat. There are no boats that go to Finland. But the question is, do I even want to leave? I mean, I came here because I wanted to do theatre, and I couldn't do that in Finland. So, do I even want to leave? Like, I live here. But should I?